for you on Agri News, but now I will leave you with our weekly segment, Sauti ya Mkulima, a platform where the youth air out their views on agribiz matters.
Unaendelea kutazama Farm Kenya Show, na leo hii tuko katika soko la Wangige tukitafuta maoni ya wakulima kuhusu vile jinsi soko lilipo, na tutasikia kutoka kwa wakulima wenyewe watuambie wanaendelea vipi katika soko na ni changamoto gani wanapitia. Kwa hivyo niko na mkulima hapa na pia ni muuzaji, ningependa aweze kuongea na sisi. Karibu sana ndugu yetu. Tuambie jina na pia ukulima wako na biashara yako ni aina gani?
Kwa majina naitwa Mwana Matunda, Brian Mzungu aka Mwana Matunda. Na hii kazi iko na challenge mingi sana. Unaweza leta mzigo soko, ikose wanunuzi, ukuta mzigo haijakomaa hivyo vile inafaa, ukuta yani hakuna wanunuzi, challenges, baridi, hivi unakuta mpaka kazi kupata pesa ni kwa shida. Hii ni kazi ya kujihimizi tu kimfuko, si kimfuko mbali, kimwili na yani kiafya, lakini si tunaweza fanya kitu ya maana. Hatungependa kuomba serikali kama ingeweza kuangusha bei ya mbolea, tisi hapa bei ya mafuta, tisi maisha ikuwe nyepesi kidogo. Kitu ninafanya naendelea na kazi yangu, ni lazima tu nifanye. Sasa nitafanya kazi gani na hakuna kazi? Kitembea huku kuuliza makazi hakuna. Sasa inabidi tu ukauke na hii. Juu hii ni kazi, uko na freedom. Unaweza fungua, unaweza kosa. Hakuna mtu anakusumbua. Juu ukienda kuajiriwa utapewa pesa kidogo na itakusaidia. Nyumba ulipe 10,000. Hapo unakuta yani mpaka pesa unatafuta ikusaidie hivyo. Ndio, labda ulipe nyumba, ukule na ukunywe na ulee watoto. Ndio.
Kwa majina yangu mimi naitwa Joyce ama Mama Charles, na mimi ni mkulima wa kuku hapa Wangige. Ninalima kuku na pia ninauza kuku. Soko ya kuku si baya, lakini ilikuwa nzuri zamani sababu hakukuwa na mashida ya chakula. Wakati huu iko na changamoto mingi sana. Juu chakula ni very expensive. Hata ukifuga kuku kama 30 hivi unashindwa na kuilea ikue mzima. Juu chakula iko na bei sana. Maisha ya kulea kuku si rahisi vile. Juu hata wakulima wengi wameshindwa, wamefunga. Lakini tunajisukumia tu, maana ndio kazi na hatuna ingine. Hii soko ya Wangige si baya, tunausanga kuku, lakini shida tuko nayo penye tunafanyia kazi ni kwa matope. Mvua ikinyesha inakutoka na huko inakuja inatuletea maji hapa tumekaa. Hata ukipaona pamekaa mchanga. Sasa changamoto ni hiyo. Pia customer tunajaribu kuwauzia bei yenye tunawauzia juu tunanunua bei kali, tena ni shida. Sasa si wengi, ni wachache. Tuko na changamoto hiyo. Maisha imekuwa ngumu, lakini tunajisukumia tu.
Kwa majina naitwa Jane Mombi ama Mama Susi. Mimi ni mkulima wa minji na waru. Siku hizi hii biashara ya minji iko baya sana juu bei iko expensive kwa shamba, lakini hata sisi kuuza tunauza bei kali, lakini waru iko sawa. Kwa hivyo sasa tuseme kama ni fertilizer iwe kwa wingi na tuangaliliwe mambo ya nini ya transport, mafuta ishuke. Hii biashara na kwa ukulima nimelima kama miaka 15 hivi niko kwa biashara na kwa lakini saa hizi miaka 2 imepita, imekuwa baya sana.
Kwa hivyo mtazamaji, tumesikia kutoka kwa ukulima tofauti kuhusu hali ya biashara ilivyo katika soko hili la Wangige, na wenye biashara wametuambia changamoto wanazopitia katika biashara zao, lakini pia tumeona pia ni biashara inaweza kuwa na faida ukijituma vile inatakikana.
Those were some of the stories making headlines for us today on Agri News. And of course, Wakenya kwa ground wametuambia sauti zao. What exactly do they understand when it comes to the marketplace in the agricultural value chain? But for now, it's time to go for a short commercial break. Keep it, Farm Kenya will be right back. And remember, tuendele kutweet pale X. Hashtag ni Farm Kenya Show, hashtag KTN Welcome Home. And also tag us at KTN Home _ at Marion _ the Agri Producer and at Kelvin _ Nyakundi. Tunakamsa usiende mbali.
Uwa mkono ambao unalima ardhi, mlango wa kulima kuwa mshindi, kuwa na uhakika sasa, kulea mustakabali wa baadaye. Tufanye kazi pamoja na tukue pamoja, kuimarisha Kenya ni jukumu la Farm Kenya.
Recharge on your current bouquet and get upgraded to the next high bouquet for 1 month. Download StarTimes on app for unlimited entertainment. Anytime, anywhere. StarTimes. Enjoy digital life.
What's uplifting content without a dose of exciting adventure into the world of lifestyle? Strap into What's Your Story?
That is how I first came to Nairobi in a hearse. Anyway, story for another day.
Okay, yeah, that's for another
But that's
day.
how I first came to Nairobi in a hearse.
Calling all foodies. Indulge your taste buds with Tupike, a delightful journey into the world of mouth-watering recipes and culinary delights that will inspire the whole family to get creative in the kitchen.
Jik cleans and kills 99.9% of illness-causing germs and COVID-19 in your home. Jik, your family's guardian against germs and COVID-19.
Nimechukua kalamu na kitabu mimi niandike, lazima mwaka huu nitapata haki yangu. Uone wako umekwisha, kilio kimekoma, baraka yangu ilikopita itafichuliwa. Overflow, overflow, mwaka wa baraka, nitakumbuka mimi.
So this other time we are coming, I go like, this is the driver. So she was
Diaspora remittances contribute about 10% of the GDP of developing economies. Kenya is no exception. Now, right here on Diaspora Fusion, we create an avenue where we can discuss the role of the diaspora in the Kenyan economy. At the same time, different aspects talk about immigration, talk about investment, talk about opportunities in the education sector and scholarships. All this, we bring it together, cook it properly, right here on Diaspora Fusion. Stay tuned, coming soon.
sponsor the Diaspora Fusion Show, contact Jackie Chege on jchege@standardmedia.co.ke. Mobile 0723 807802.
Recharge on your current bouquet and get upgraded to the next high bouquet for 1 month. Download StarTimes on app for unlimited entertainment. Anytime, anywhere. StarTimes. Enjoy digital life.
Tufanye kazi pamoja na tukue pamoja kuimarisha Kenya, ni jukumu la Kenya.
All right, welcome back. We are still here with Marion and we are talking about the markets today. And today we are going to look at this particular kind of market. Karen Organic Farmers Market. Kama ni farmer uko nje and you want to sell your products, I mean Organic Farmers Market is the place to be. Ama ni aje Mariam?
Very true, Nyakundi, and can't wait for you guys to also get some more information on it. Let's listen in. Hi and welcome to Youth in Agriculture. My name is Marion Munyaunganga. Now this episode is interesting kama kawaida because we are coming here to you from Organic Farmers Market here in Karen, where we'll be talking about vendors who are doing value addition. Now the first one, we'll be talking about ginger, how to mix the hibiscus and the ginger. And on the second part of the show, we'll be having Lisa, who will be talking about tea, how to get that flavored black tea right into your mouth and having a sweet taste in it, and keep it Youth in Agriculture. If you'd like to be part of this show, you can definitely do so by going to our social media platforms that are on your screen and send us a pin, send us your location and what you do, and we'll be at your farm doorstep. Karibu sana kwenye show. Oh, hi. Ooh. What are you having?
It's a coconut.
It's a coconut.
Yeah, and the water's really nice.
It's called madafu. Can you say madafu?
Madafu.
Very good. My first guest, who is a bubbly youth. Wow, this lady, she's called Alexel Grace. Welcome to Youth in Agriculture.
Asante.
Have I gotten your name right?
Yes, you have. Pronounced it perfectly well.
Thank you so much. So tell me, who are you all about and what do we have here?
As the brand says, Lexi, it came from the name Alexel.
Yeah.
So we have different kinds of mixes. I started with the garlicky, which is a cooking paste, and this I had been doing for myself for years. Then the nature of my job pushed me to start doing this during COVID. I couldn't work virtually because my job, I have to be out there. So if I'm sitting in pretty, your savings are going, there's no work, and you're consulting. So I said, my best friend told me, why don't you make that cooking paste you like coming to get from your house? I said, okay, I'll make, and then what?
Yeah.
So I made the first 10 jars. The following week, I gave my friends, actually they bought. I was like, okay. Then I signed up for the Organic Farmers Market. But before that, she told me, why don't you sign up for the Organic Farmers Market? And I said, what's that? Sometimes you can be so busy, you don't know what's around you.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, looked it up on Facebook, and I said, I got a number, and I called, and there's this guy called Dennis. We spoke and spoke and spoke like we knew each other.
What were you thinking about?
Well, just the passion of organic things, raw, and he's somebody who lives a holistic lifestyle because of his autoimmune disease. And I'm sure if you look him up, he's shared his story a lot of times.
Yeah.
So he said, okay, come, please. So I said, I signed up the following week, and he was so gracious. He said, by the way, if you're still feeling not okay, what we can do is I give you 1 month for free. Who does that? So there's an opportunity, and sometimes when luck comes, jump on it.
Yeah.
So the following week, I signed up. I came with only this one.
Yeah.
So COVID situation, the restrictions were already getting loose, and I said, okay, you can still take a little bit of this because it has garlic.
Yeah.
Take a little bit of it. Put some honey, lemon, boost your immunity.
No wonder this is
yeah, organic honey. That's organic honey.
And I'm smelling this nice.
I'm almost running away because me and flying animals.
Yeah,
Anyway, so I said, so a friend told me, do you have one that doesn't have oil? Because I use cold press oil to preserve, so no chemicals in my stuff. Because I've been doing this for myself for years. I don't want to say how many because...
Let's not get there. But we can tell from the experience.
So anyway, I said, okay, let me make one that doesn't have oil. Then I said, but lemons are natural preservatives. That's a garlic dawa. Let me make it in a way that it's just a teaspoon in a cup of hot water. Remove the garlic. We have your classic. Let's throw in some turmeric into this, and voila.
Yeah.
Then as we move on, just here in the market, one lady, she sells her nice organic essential oils, and she told me, I want a cup of dal when it gets cold.
Yeah.
So I got a flask, started selling dal by the cup. One day it's hot. I was like, what am I gonna sell at the market this time? Because you know that cup also cushions a little bit of the fees that you pay. And I said, wait a minute. I normally have my dawa in my juices. Before I knew it, I started doing juice because I'd make juice for myself. So hence the ginger juices, like this is hibiscus.
Yeah.
I'm the queen of making passion juice. So we have pineapple, mint. So all these juices, you can add some ginger in it. So you can have your dawa in a fun way.
Yeah.
The young ones can also have their dawa in a way that the spice is not too kali, as they say.
Strong.
Yes, and if it's a hot day today, it's a beautiful day.
Yeah.
You can still have your dawa cold. So just like that. From the name I'll excel, there's a lady who said, oh, this is so delightful. She's British. So I said, Lex's Delight. So that's how, so I mean, everything was just weaving into the other.
Yeah.
So then so people have gotten used to the brand, where even if I'm doing other things, it's hard to leave. You know, then you have your favorite lotion.
Yeah.
Then you go to the supermarket and it's out of stock, and then it's never there again. So he said, I don't want I'm a ginger girl. This is ginger. So all this is a fun way of having ginger. We have ginger shake. Instead of having a milkshake, you have a ginger shake. It doesn't have milk, but it's nice, thick, and creamy.
I would love to taste that.
Oh, you love it. Then there's the ginger juice. So the juices, you add your ginger. So from a distance, it's a way of people are sitting around and, oh, what's the ginger? So the ginger fruit crush is my signature that I started with. Whole fruit crush, then you put some ginger. And also have some nice names that from a distance you'll be like, oh, what's that? You will be attracted by what you see visually. Then of course ginger cooking paste. So it's garlic and ginger, so more of garlic, but with ginger. So I'm a ginger girl. Am I getting requests so that people can make what I'm making? Coca-Cola has never given out its recipe, so why should I give out mine?
Okay. So it's a
I would guide and teach you how to be authentic with your own brand. But my brand is, we cover. I mean, you're from KTN, that's your brand. There's other stations, that's their brand. They do their stuff in a different way. So giving out a secret is tough.
Now, to the marketing, do you feel like the marketing here has served with justice?
Oh, yes.
Yes, how so?
Oh my God, yes. Because people walk in, it's a walk-in market, organic farmers market. From the farmers up there, then you come and sample. So the beauty is, I didn't nail it at the beginning by getting it the perfect ratios. But when people taste, oh, it doesn't have enough this, it doesn't have, so you get instant feedback, as opposed to if I had like $10 million and the next thing I'm in the supermarket, I won't get that feedback. So the feedback I have from people, from the little ones, 3-year-old, is it nice? Yes, but it's a bit. So like, okay, how can I make it sweet for this one? How do you get the balance for everybody? Some people they like the ginger spice. Some people say it's too much. So I found a balance where someone can say, okay, if I take like this much, it's good. So the marketplace, oh my God, is the place to be. It's like if you go to Mitumba, kujaribu ni bure. Alafu.
So do you have samples, by the way?
Allah, yes. What would you like to sample? There's so much to be sampled.
I think I'll go for the hibiscus.
Hibiscus with ginger.
With ginger.
So what we do, this is what I do for the little ones especially. And I ask them the first flavor or the second flavor. So taste it, don't finish.
Okay. This is me tasting the first flavor.
Wow. And I use the petals from my kitchen to your tummy.
Sweet.
Good.
And it's natural.
All natural. I use the petals. Then this is the ginger. Right? So now you know why the ginger juices. Taste it and tell me. First, yes, and which flavor you like. And be honest, not everybody likes ginger, so you may not like it.
Okay. First of all, I love ginger. Wow. The juice is so richer, and I like it because you feel the ginger taste. Uko nyuma nyuma. It's like
so you see, exactly. So a 3-year-old can still take a little bit of ginger because you've used their favorite juice. So that's what inspired the juices. That's why you'll see those little ones sitting there. Lex's juice. It's humbling.
Now,
it's so humbling.
I like that. Now, as we conclude, talk about the prices, because there's this perception that organic products are really expensive. This is the time that you want to run away.
Well, I work with an organic farmer to get my product so that there's consistency of the flavor, right? And also, you know how it's been grown. So from what I have understood, I'm not a farmer directly, but what I understand is it takes time. The natural manure, all these things they do, and they nurture these things. Those are the things that gives it the quality, the way they'll just water it and all that. And you see, that's long period, as opposed to something like you put on the ground and in a week is there, you get your money back. But you see, you keep putting money on the, manure and all these things. So it takes time. So that's my understanding of why it would be expensive. So yeah, the way I price it is based on, like I was telling you off camera before, is how this started. You guys are finding a dukkha. It was not like this. I was on a table with only this, but like 3 of them like this. So as time and feedback
come in,
like someone asked me, do you have a milkshake? I said, why milkshake? I'm a ginger girl. Ginger shake. And I came up with a recipe. So everything is like that.
I like it.
So the passion I have for this is I live a holistic lifestyle. I'm actually sharing my lifestyle with everybody else. And do you know how much I started this business with?
Tell me.
Take a wild guess. This one now, table stand. Take a wild guess.
Okay, because you have to...
Just by looking at it, how much do you think I put?
10,000. Am I right?
You're generous.
Oh, wow.
Including jars, the first 10 jars that I sold to my friends. 3K. 1 to 3,000 Kenya shillings.
Only for this?
3,000 shillings with patience. Since 2020, we are here.
Thank you so much for your time. That is where we wrap it up on the first part of this show. This is Youth in Agriculture, and we are here today, as I had mentioned earlier, at Organic Farmers Market here in Karen. And let's see has told us how she came about her business in doing ginger. She tells me she also has a ginger shake, which she started, by the way, the whole idea with only 3,000. So this is my call to you as we continue, even on the second part of the show, that you need to come here. There is market here. Please come here because this is where you get value for the money that you put as you do your planting, or even value addition. Keep it in agriculture. Don't go away. Tunarudi tu sahi. Welcome back to Youth in Agriculture. This is where we are from today, and we're talking about value addition. We are here with Lisa Zak, who is so passionate about tea. She says that she loves spices and her bias went to liquids, and that's why we have a beautiful setup with us in front of us on this table where she'll be telling us more. But now, let's get to know her. Welcome to the show, Lisa.
Thank you for having me.
Mbona unapenda chai sana?
I'm actually Swahili.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I'm actually Swahili.
Uh-huh.
That's why I love spiced tea. And that's what I was missing when I was in campus.
Ah,
yes.
Which school is this?
This is JQuat.
Yes. Do you have any background with agriculture?
So I studied horticulture and then I studied also landscaping. So I want to say it's from that background, but at the same time, it's only because I just love spiced tea.
Yeah. Yes. Wow. Okay. So apart from what you read in school, how are you able to convince yourself that this is the journey that I really want to take?
I love entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
I always dreamt of being a businesswoman myself. So the story started when I made my own tea for my own consumption, and I shared the tea with my friends, and they loved it. That's when the idea came to make it a business. So the idea plus the desire to be a businesswoman, it started Aroma Tea. Yes.
Now, Kenyans know only one type of tea, the African tea, but tell us some of the varieties that you get to work with.
So actually I deal with the black tea, but what I flavor the black tea. And I flavor it with natural and organic ingredients and real ingredients. So I do flavor them with I do flavor my tea with passion fruit, herbs and spices to bring up the aroma and the taste.
And take me through the flavoring process. Is it something that you go and farm yourself, then you take them to the factory, dry them up and mix everything together, or how do you go about it?
I do everything myself, from the drying. So I go to the market. For example, one of my flavor, it has passion fruit and it has cinnamon, it has cardamom. So I have a supplier for the cinnamon and cardamom, and I go to the market, I get my passion fruit, and I have a dehydrator. I dry the passion fruit myself. After that, I mix, and I take the black tea, I mix them together.
How long does this whole process take? Because it looks like it takes a whole century.
Yes, it does, but it depends with the flavor. Some flavors are more intense, but others like I have another flavor which has peppermint and ginger. That's a little bit easier. All the other one is just organic ginger. That's a little bit easier. But for the one that I've mentioned, the passion fruit one, that's more intense. So it will take at least, maybe I'll make 5 packs in one day. So that's a bit a lot. But for the others, I can make a few more in the same span. Yes.
Result is the fact that we are here at an organic market in Karen. Now, are your products fully organic, or do you mix?
Okay, what I can say is they are fully 100% natural. Because I make them myself, so I know what I'm doing and what I can add. So there are no preservatives, there are no additives. That I can say it's 100% natural, but not 100% organic. Because also we're dealing with farmers like the ginger, my ginger supplier. He doesn't farm organically 100%. So that's why it makes it not 100%.
Which is your favorite flavor?
Actually, it's umi. Yes, it's my favorite flavor, and because I named it Umi after my mom.
Wow.
Yeah, so it has a meaning behind
Yeah.
it, and it's a very sweet flavor because of the passion fruit.
Yeah.
And because of the cinnamon, because I use sweet cinnamon.
Mhm.
Yes, so that's my favorite for the loose leaf. But I also have the tea bags. So for the tea bags, my favorite is the masala, the typical.
one.
Actually, the masala is the flavor that started it all.
How do you know what flavor to mix with?
Actually, yes, that's a good question. I go through a very long process, and just from my knowledge, I know some of the spices and herbs that go together already. But at the same time, for example, when I was coming up with umi, I wanted yes a fruity flavor, but I didn't know exactly what will hit and what will not. So I had to go. I went through oranges first. I tested the oranges, and it wasn't a big deal to me.
Yeah.
Pineapple, this is not a good combination. Then I stumbled. Now I came to passion fruit, and when I tested the two, cardamom and passion fruit, it's a good thing. I mean, a good combination. And then adding cinnamon on top of it, it balances it all. So I think because I already have the knowledge of spices and herbs, makes it a little bit easier. But at the same time, it's a process. I need to test and forgo like other flavors that I think they're not combining well together. Yeah.
Now, in the tea sector, there are different grades. There's grade 1, there's grade 2. Which one do you comfortably work with?
I want to say grade 1, but yes, I want to say grade 1, but at the same time, there are certain moments where grade 1 is very difficult to get. So I incorporate the two, but most of the times I do grade 1.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, now Kenyan tea is loved abroad.
Yes.
By any chance, how big is your market? Do you expand it to the international market?
Not at the moment. What I can say is I have customers here in Kenya who live abroad, and when they come back, maybe to greet their families, they'll just stock up on my tea and they go with it.
Yeah.
But shipping abroad, the farthest I've gone it's Tanzania. That's it. But other than that, not really. Yes.
Of course, I cannot fail to let you go by asking, or by not asking rather, how did you get to know this place and how has been your experience so far?
So I started the business in 2020.
Yeah.
And as we all know, 2020 was the big
year.
Yes. But at the same time, I was very blessed because that's when my business stood. Despite of everything that was happening, Aroma Tea performed really well. And 4 years down the line right now, I can feel like it's a business that I'm doing it, and it's a full-time job for me. I do it every single day, online, coming to the markets, and I put my 100% and all my time to perfecting the craft of making tea. But at the same time, it's the business that's giving me back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so it makes a lot of profit. Are there so many people coming in as expected?
Yeah, I can say that. I can say it's making sense, and I have profit.
Yeah.
Yes, of course there are moments that the business is a little bit down, but at the same time I do make profit from my products, from my services and all that. Yes.
Wow, talk about the beautiful packaging that you're seeing here today. Can even see here this that you had informed me earlier that it's a sieve.
Yes, it's a sieve.
Yes.
A cup sieve.
A cup sieve.
Yes.
Take us through it and how it works.
So a cup sieve,
Yeah.
people would like to call it a strainer.
Yeah.
What you do with it, it's a miniature version of a strainer, of a sieve. So what you do, you take your loose leaf, because I carry the loose leaf flavors as well.
Do we have samples here?
Yes.
Maybe we can do it practically.
Yes.
If you allow us.
Yes, let's take for example the chamomile tea. So you take your tea.
Yeah. Can I assist?
Yes, please.
Okay, now this is you can maybe look at it.
So, you just take your product, your tea.
Yeah.
You just,
like that.
Yes.
Oh, nice. I was expecting a tea bag, you know.
No, the tea bags. I also have the tea bags, and I also have the loose leaf. Yes. So this is specifically for loose leaf. This product is specifically for loose leaf. So
nice.
you close it,
like
and then
that.
you put it in your cup.
Maybe you can lift it up.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So you just you close it, and then you hook it in on your cup, and then you have hot water.
Yeah.
So you just pour hot water in your cup.
Yeah.
And what it's going to do, it's going to brew the tea while you're still drinking it. Yes. Because otherwise, people who love loose leaf teas, they brew it and then they put it in the cup. They add it in the cup
directly, and then it chokes them.
Exactly. So with this product, what you do, you just put it in the cup, and then you add hot water, and then you just continue drinking. So it brews as you drink, and that's I like to say sometimes drinking tea it's a science.
Yeah.
So this is a science.
Wow, Lisa, I can't wait to have my cup of tea with the strainer. Thank you.
Yes, thank you as well.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you
and of course for mixing science and agri-technology. Yes. Thank you so much for your time today and for joining us on our today's show. And remember, we have been here at Organic Farmers Market in Karen talking about value addition. There is a key emphasis on value addition because this is how youths like me and you are attracted to this space, so that at least we can be able to go beyond the conventional way of farming rather. Thank you so much for joining us today, and remember, keep it youth in agriculture. Till next time, same time, same place. Goodbye. That was Youth in Agriculture, and Kelvin, let me tell you, that place is flooded. Kwanza on weekends, Friday, Saturday na Sunday, wase wameja hivi. Why? Because they want to buy vegetables. Na uko si ati kuna vegetables peke. Nyama choma ina slap.
Lakini wacha nikuulize, nyama choma na organic market ama ni hapo nje?
Wauji kuna labda kuna breeds zenye ni organic za ng'ombe.
All right, that was Youth in Agriculture. We were looking at the Karen Organic Farmers Market, and as you've heard from Marion, it was full, and I believe we've learned very many things from that farmers market. But right now we're going to go for a short break. But remember, tweet and continue conversating with us just so that we can get at least some of those topics that you would want us to speak. For right now, we're going to go for a short break, but we'll be back with more.
Tufanye kazi pamoja na tukue pamoja, kuimarisha Kenya ni jukumu la kuwa mkono ambao unalima ardhi, mlango wa kulima, kuwa mshindi, kuwa na uhakika sasa, kulea mustakabali wa baadaye. Tufanye kazi pamoja na tukue pamoja, kuimarisha Kenya ni jukumu la Kenya.
Right, welcome back, and now we have our conversation of the day, where today we are speaking about garlic farming, and with us is Gilad Milo, who is a garlic farmer. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so garlic farming. First of all, why garlic farming?
Lucky. Really, honest, just lucky. Not something I had set out to do. I met a friend who is today my partner, and he comes from garlic farming. I come from general agriculture. I had worked for Amiran. I'd been in the sector for many years, and he said, he asked my advice, and I said, no, let's do it together. And yeah, it happened just before COVID, so we found ourselves on the farm, building the farm from scratch, and it was about farming only. Yeah. Today the business has evolved a lot into working with farmers and selling seeds and training and buying back and evolving the market. But at that time it was strictly farming for business and for fun. Yeah. And because COVID, everybody was all like locked up at home, we were out in the shamba, you know, and it's like honestly, literally the fresh air of it. And also to have your hands in the soil is a really healthy thing, yeah? Yeah.
All right. And speaking with working with farmers, when you look at the place of garlic farming in agriculture in Kenya at large, where would you place it? Is it something that people have not really gotten into?
It's one of what we call up and coming, yeah? Which means a lot of people have heard of it. Okay, obviously I'm making a lot of noise around it myself, but it's because I'm so passionate about it, because I've discovered this thing that is very Kenyan, very authentic to Kenya. Kenyans love their own garlic much more than they, you know, than they like the imports. Immediately people will say, no, I don't want the white ones, the fake white ones, right? They call them the fake white ones.
Yeah.
Whereas ours are like this pinkish purple, what we grow, right? The different varieties. And Kenyans are very patriotic about it. So that's one thing that obviously endeared it to me. The romanticism of it, that, but also just as a practical crop. It's something that's in crazy demand and very, very low supply. So if you're in business, obviously that's a good thing to have, right? And then to grow it is something that works well here. So we can grow it very well in Kenya. Our climate, whether it's the soils, and it doesn't matter if it's red soil or loam soil or black cotton soil, they all work. The general climate of Kenya, the sunshine, and garlic likes a lot of water, so if you can solve that, which is a challenge here to many farmers, then in most cases, then you can grow. And how much you grow and how big you start and etc. It kind of depends on your pocket. Do you want to start all the way down with a small 1/8 acre because that's what you can afford at this stage and grow from there and learn? And others are jumping right in at 4 or 5 acres. We have those too, yeah.
Right. Even as you do this kind of business, and of course agribusiness, it's agriculture at the same time also business, because you go to the markets. So what are some of the challenges in this particular field, especially in the garlic type of farming? Do we have the right mechanisms when it comes to how we need to manage farming this particular kind of the garlic itself? Do we have that?
We have everything we need. Like 100% of what you need to successfully farm garlic, we have pretty much everywhere in Kenya, okay? So, I mean, let's think. Step one begins with, if I look up now at the value chain of the farmer, okay? So, finance. To be able to pay for land, water, farming in general, any structures that you might need, right, on the shamba, water tank, are you growing with drip irrigation, are you not? Seeds for the garlic farming itself, fertilizers, pesticides throughout the season, labor. So budget, can you afford it, okay? Step one. So finance, technology. The next step on the way I see the value chain of the small scale, of the farmer growing, yeah? So technology would be the drip irrigation if you're using it. The seeds that we provide is kind of the technology, because that's the main input that you're planting with garlic. We don't plant seeds, we plant cloves. So they have to be germinated, for planting. So that's like the one of the key ingredients. So can you afford that? And then finance, technology, training. So you have to know what you're doing. We don't teach farming 101 basics, but we teach garlic farming. So I'm not going to go and teach you how to spray, but I'll discuss spraying and why it's important to spray the leaves and why protecting the leaves is so important as part of that. So training, extension service, so agro support. Farmers now, we've done the training. You went off to plant. By the second day, did he say this in the training, or did he say that, right? Yes. So right when you get back to the farm, you need to be able to have your questions answered. In 2024, we have WhatsApp, we have applications, we have, so people are taking videos and I can do a video call from the farm. People can send a video. I can give them online guidance, which we do for the whole season, okay? So extension service, and finally, market. So finance, technology, training, extension service, market. Without market, right, there's no that last kick to score the goal, right? So we provide the market. And I'll challenge you to, because there's such a demand, try to fight for your own market. If you can, I really encourage it. I think it's a great thing to do. And if you can lock down your own market, it kind of builds your own confidence in what you're doing. But we're there as a safety net. So guaranteed we're buying back your garlic, okay? So the market's a done deal as well. And then you've got the whole full circle of what the farmer needs from A to Z, from beginning of season to end of season. I wish that we could solve and get to the point where we have like a loan for garlic farmers from, different financing partners, and that would also answer the finance part, But I think we'll get there. I think the market is taking a real interest in it, and then all the other things that usually accompany a new thing, they'll start falling into place, and other parts of the market will come to say, all right, there's money to be made here, let's support it.
All right. And when you speak about the market, because I feel like the market is what now, the way you mentioned, it's like the crowning, because the market is what...
it's what makes it business.
Exactly. So therefore, when you look at the market, how does someone navigate between the market and create a niche for themselves as a garlic farmer, so that at least at the end of the day, they don't sit with their produce there, but it goes? What sets them aside?
We harvested our first produce in the first season, did everything we were told to do, we dried it, we know everything, the right processes and everything, and cut it and had it ready for market, and it was really, we had really beautiful garlic. And we just walked in to different vendors here in Nairobi, literally places you walk into every day, yeah? And we said, look, we got this, right? We got a lot of it, and it's really good quality. People were crazy interested. Like, wait a second, and you could see the demand. If you have a feel for business, right? You can see that you got something that people are really interested in. We started negotiating prices and seeing that we can kind of set our own price. So it's a seller's market. There's a great demand for quality Kenyan garlic, for what they call local garlic. Wow, we sold in I swear, it was gone. Did another season, same story, gone. And then once you discover that, then that's when we built our model, because at that point, once you're clear that there's a crazy demand, you can either, we have a 3-acre farm, okay? We started with 4, now we're growing on a 3-acre farm. If there's such a demand, if I wanted to, I could take 100 acres and just grow a massive amount of garlic and be the biggest supplier. Or, since my background was working with small-scale farmers, we designed this model, which is we sell the seeds to the farmers, we give them the training, we give them the spray program, the guidance throughout the season, and then the market. And now we have over 200 farmers, and so people are harvesting, people are constantly delivering to the farm, their harvest, making their money. And on our side, the amount of garlic, we're not even close to what we could be selling, but already, only about 2.5 years into doing this, 3 years into doing this, we're moving tons of garlic, which I don't think anybody's ever done here before in such an organized way, focused strictly on this crop, yeah? So it's kind of like water on a rock. If you're consistent and you don't stop and you stay with it, it'll grow and grow and grow, and eventually, God willing, you'll see ole raha packaged, garlic in the different supermarket. When I'm comfortable that we can deliver consistency to the market, then we'll go and literally package our own, and that's the next level we want to go to. But it's like you discover something. Back in the day with the tomatoes, it was the same thing. When we were growing tomatoes in greenhouses, and we were the first to be doing it on with tens of thousands of small-scale farmers in Kenya were growing tomatoes. And suddenly there was a huge amount of local great tomatoes in the market. That happened around 2010, 12, like that. And ever since then, if you're young enough, you don't remember when it started and you take it for granted. But before then, you didn't have different varieties of tomatoes on the shelves in Kenyan supermarkets grown by small-scale farmers. That didn't exist. So God willing, a few years from now, you'll be taken for granted that we have, obviously we're growing garlic with small-scale farmers in Kenya,
Right, and when you talk about even the pricing of this particular crop, the pricing of the garlic, what dictates the pricing? Because the way you mentioned, we have, you're producing the pink ones. it's not the white one.
There's different shades of
Yes.
pink and different varieties, but
Yes.
what we call the local varieties. But literally yesterday, I encountered the answer to your question, okay? And I stood there for a second, taken back, sana, okay? I stood, I won't say the supermarket, but I was staying in the vegetable section, and always my first thing is to go and look, you know, what kind of garlic are they selling?
yes.
How much are they selling it for, okay? Back in COVID times when we started, that's like 3-4 years ago, the end user, the market, was selling garlic at 560 shillings, 585 per kilo.
Yes.
I'm talking about the real brave ones, okay? Many were selling at 450, 460, okay? And obviously there's a very strict relationship between what they allow themselves to sell on the shelf and what they pay us as the farmers, okay? And us as the farmers get paid a lot lower than what they're selling on the shelf. That's the reality of it, okay? So while our price maintained at around 250, okay, maybe up to 280, which is what we would get from them, okay, when selling to them, yesterday I saw 800
per kilo.
800 per kilo,
Wow.
okay, in a supermarket hapa Nairobi, okay? So 800 shillings per kg, and funnily enough, what was there wasn't so impressive. Like, I was like, 800, you'd think, give me some wow, right? It wasn't. It was actually something that I wasn't really impressed with, and I said, wow. I thought to myself, if they can sell this at 800, okay, imagine when they see what I have at the farm, you know? And it was a real feeling of, it's a place to grow, because obviously, if the end product to the consumer on the shelf that the supermarket is selling went from 460 to 800, yeah, then that makes me hopeful, right? Because obviously mine can go up too, and if mine can go up, so can the farmers going with me.
Yes.
Because you asked, you know, how much do we pay the farmers? It's an exact, in exact relation to what I'm getting paid from whoever I sell on to. By definition, I'm a middleman, okay? I'm an honest middleman, okay? And we're only buying from people who are growing with our seeds, okay? So there's a very strict model here. But when they deliver their garlic, our farmers deliver back their garlic to the farm and we pay them, then we go and sell it off. And to be honest, along the way between that and that, there's losses and cleaning, and you know, we pay our farmers cash and we get paid after 60 days. And there's a lot of things which are like that. But it's like I said earlier, we're a safety net. If you'd rather go and sell to the end supermarket, go for it, man. If it makes you more money, go for it. You're going to come back to me for more, right? Because if you succeeded, you're going to want to do it again. So the better your success is my success, obviously. Yeah.
Right. And speaking about middlemen, because you've mentioned middlemen, and many a times farmers usually complain about middlemen taking over everything. So
that's why I gave that disclaimer.
Yes.
When I said middleman, I said because obviously middlemen, because middlemen have that image, and it's a true one. Okay. The goal of the middleman is to take the farmer as best he can, right? To give him as little as possible and then go and sell it on as high as possible. Buy low, sell high. The middleman at the end of the day is not creating anything. That's why I gave the disclaimer, because we're training, we're teaching, you know, we're very vested in the whole farmer season. It's very different from someone who shows up at your farm with a truck, drops some cash, and then goes and delivers and gets some cash, which is why I encourage farmers. I mean, I'll tell farmers, look, you spent 4 months growing this crop. You invested your sweat, your tears, your efforts, right? Go and make a little bit more effort. Walk into the supermarket and fight for your crop. In my training, I give analogies between children and the cloves that you're planting, because these cloves will become garlic, and I say, it's a daily thing. You can't leave them alone. Just like you wouldn't not babysit your kids, you can't not babysit your garlic and then it gets disease or whatever, yeah? So to take that analogy all the way to the end, when they're grown and there, you've raised something, go fight for it. And you'll get the money that it's worth, okay? I think a passionate farmer fighting for their price will definitely get more than if they, you know, argue with the middleman.
All right, very well explained. And when you work with farmers, I believe you work with many farmers who are in this particular kind of farming. what are some of the challenges that you usually encounter, especially what do farmers really get challenges on, especially because a farmer might be seated at home saying, okay, I've tried garlic farming, it's not working for me. So how do you seal these gaps, especially in terms of a farmer who's not really making any yield out of it?
First is the conditions with which you start, okay? Land I'm not worried about. I am in certain cases, like for example, people tend to come and say, okay, well, let me just plant garlic. And people don't tell you exactly. I'll ask always, what were you planting before? And even farmers who have planted 4 consecutive seasons of onions will not tell you, okay? But then by the time you've reached garlic and onions, it's the same crop. It's the same crop family. So they're taking from the soil the same thing. So if you plant garlic after onions, what you need for the garlic is not there in the soil. So soil testing before you start, for example, will tell us a lot about the condition of your soil. In general, professionalism in all your farm practices, okay? And that's where most people go wrong. Most people think in numbers. I'll spend this much per kg, expected yield is this much, I'll sell it for this much money I'll make. And you forget that there's 4 months of farming in between that, with challenges that have to do with water, with weather, with mistakes that your Shamba boy happens to make, or just happen to not do the job he was supposed to, yeah? And we get a lot of that too. And people making, mostly, I think my biggest problem is with the inconsistent farmers. This is a marathon. Kenya, we win the world in marathons, right?
Yes.
So we should win, we should be good at marathon running. The season is long. It can't be, I'm a bit passionate for a week, so I'm going to go make a real effort, and then I'll disappear for 4 days, and then I'll come back again for a day, take some pictures, take a selfie, post that, I'm a cool farmer, and then disappear again from the farm from 2 weeks. It's work. And it's details which are science, okay? Our job, it's what you learned in basic school, okay? Photosynthesis. The leaves collect the sun and the energy, they feed the stem, they grow the bulb, okay? So the leaves have to be as healthy as they can. So you can't see the leaves changing color or suffering from a disease and you're not scouting and you won't catch it. Early detection is the best solution. But that means you've got to be on it, yeah? So I tell people by weeding, that keeps you close to the ground. I force you to weed, and then you'll be close to the crop and you'll see any changes, okay? Yeah, but I mean, it takes consistency and daily work, and Kenyans, when you tell Kenyans that you have to go and do weeding, in school, weeding was punishment, okay? So Kenyans have this psychology where weeding is like, it's a bad thing, right? But actually, it's a very good practice and it keeps you close to your crops, and if you do that daily and you're constantly tending to your crop, I'm very like, okay, I'm not at the farm enough, obviously I'm more on the business side of things, but the guys who are on the farm, we really, I mean, they've gotten to a level where any spot, he'll send a picture into our group and he'll be like, look what I saw. What do you think? What is this? So he's hands-on attentive, and it's those details that make the difference. Garlic's a good crop. It's not like 0 to 100. Not you're going to mess up, you won't get anything. But can you do better? Can they grow bigger? Can you get more of it? So it's an art to be able to successfully grow a lot, and of large percentage of it will be in good quality. That takes the attention, All
right, Gilad, thank you so much for sharing with us your insights. I hope you've learned something about garlic farming. You need to go to the nitty-gritties. Just watch it and make sure at the end of the day you'll have a great yield. And now we are about to end the show, but before we end it, Marion, come over. This is my co-host. She's been standing.
Conversation.
Hi, Marion.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Karibu tena kwenye KTN, and of course for the first time here on Farm Kenya.
Thank you.
But Calvin, I've been listening to the conversation. Before we let him go, Niko curious kidogo. Do you sing for the garlic?
I do.
Hey,
He
wow.
sings as well for the garlic.
My grandma used to say, she had a flower shop, and she used to say that the plants respond to that kind, to human energy. And singing, so I actually walk around the farm singing. I do.
That's really nice.
Confess.
No wonder the success that he has in garlic farming. Now that Gilad here sings for the garlic, what are your social media handles and how can farmers get to hear you sing in their farm for this garlic?
So the name of the company is Ole Raha. And Ole Raha on Instagram, Ole Raha on Facebook, Ole Raha on LinkedIn. In all of those, you have phone numbers in the bio. Feel free to WhatsApp. We're very, very online because we have so many young farmers. They need to be answered online.
Oh, wow.
And of course, you too can follow us across our social media platforms at KTN Home _ at Marion _ the Agri Producer, na Kevo
At Kelvin _ Nyakundi.
Till next time, goodbye.
Bye.
High five.
Kuwa mkono ambao unalima ardhi, mlango wa kulima kuwa mshindi.